So there's a quote stuck in my head for a while: education is freedom. So a few years ago, when we used to live in a different house, we had two old ladies living in front of us, our neighbors. The one was living in a rented house, and the other had her own house. Both of them used to give me advices. The one who lived in a rented house, she was always in her house inside, rarely used to go out, wanted me to become a traditional housewife in the future, learn how to handle and raise a child. She used to tell me all the news of women who got killed and stabbed while they were out alone. And she always used to scare us with stuff and comment on our clothes. On the other hand, the lady who had her own house, she looked so iconic. Whenever she used to go out, she was dressed so elegantly. She always used to advise us to travel more, hang out with our friends, doing well in school, and generally having a life. The fact that they were both almost the same age, the same generation, still had so different perspectives had me thinking. In the beginning, I thought it was just how their parents raised them back then. But I was wrong. Later on, I realized it was just that the one who had her own house was just educated. On the other hand, the other lady was not. The one who was educated was a retired employee from a government job, and she was still working. She had her boundaries, so even if her husband would abandon her, she still would have her stand. She relied to none. And the fact that she never used to scare us with the fact that it is dangerous outside with all the criminals, it's because she had seen the world. She knew this is a fact, and just because they exist, that doesn't mean we are going to live 24/7 in our house. The other lady never worked in her life and considered herself as only useful to carry a child, to maintain the house clean, and care what the society will say. One had completed her education. The other was never interested in education and knowledge and stopped her education at 10. Now, obviously, times are different. Schools are not the only source of knowledge. You can get knowledge from everything and everywhere. This was just a real-life example of how important it is to keep yourself updated and generally educated. When you will hear someone speak, you can definitely assume whether they are educated or not.